Hello, everybody. I'm Will Tagle, and I'm speaking to you from the Earth Wisdom Academy in the hill country of Texas. And I'm welcoming all of you from around Great Mother Earth who are joining us. So I see people from Idaho and New York, and they're coming on at such a rate that I'm having trouble keeping up with all of it. Someone I see from Colombia and Europe. So we're just welcoming people from any of our seven continents. And this is a wonderful day because we're considering dreams and visions, and particularly we're addressing questions from our allies. Questions like, do our dreams come merely from our personal unconscious, or are we tuning in, delving into a larger domain that Jung called the collective unconscious and the indigenous people called the various worlds, the upper world, the middle world, and the lower world? And how do these dreams help us? And how can we get to know these living energy forms that come to us in the form of our dreams? So again, welcome, and we'll be talking to you from various sources today. I see Jennifer from Arizona, and it's just so great for us to gather like this. So beautiful. I got a howdy from Fort Worth from Michelle Blair. Great to see you, Michelle. So, in order to ground us and orient us to our dream circle today, Judith is going to sing for us.
Thank you, Will. Thank you all for putting up with my singing. This is an Earth Tribe song, and I'm especially sending this to Jill for a good reason. Grandmother holds us in her earth arms, grandfather with stars from the sky. Hey and ah hey, hey and ah hey, hey and ah hey, hey ah. Grandmother teaches us with wisdom from the earth, wisdom from the earth. Hey ah, hey and ah hey, hey and ah hey, hey and ah hey, hey ah. Grandfather brings us wisdom from the stars, wisdom from the stars. Hey ah. Open your hearts to wisdom from the earth, wisdom from the sky. Hey ah. Open yourselves to visions from the earth, visions from the sky. Hey ah. Hey na hey, hey na hey, hey na hey, hey ya. I would go up high at that part, but I'm not going to do it today because I can't.
Thank you, Judith.
Thank you for listening.
That puts us in a tuning mood and a tuning wavelength. So also want to point you to the chat box, and if you move your cursor down to the bottom of your screen, uh, for some of you, you'll see a chat. Others of you um, will find it in other ways, but we invite you to go to the chat and make comments as we go along. I see Denise from Bavaria, Germany. I see Mumsy in Iowa. I see Desiree, our friend from Arkansas, a fellow traveler to Teotihuacan. From way over in Freeport, Maine, I see Terry. So just invite you to comment as we go along uh, on the chat box. This gives us a way for us all to interact with each other. So we welcome today two people who are guides par excellence into the dream world. And I'm going to introduce Jill Scott-Reagan first. Jill and I have been working together for longer than I want to confess at this moment as co-therapists and developing through the years various approaches to dreams and co-creating and entering joyfully into the dream world as a way of healing our various aspects of ourself. And Jill is a social worker, a psychotherapist, and she's director of the clinic, the Center for Creative Resources Clinic in Houston, and an elder in the Earth Tribe, and a dream resource elder. Welcome, Jill.
Thanks, Will. It's really wonderful to be in this incredible circle today. We humans have been telling each other our dreams for a very long time. I mean, that's no surprise to any of you. And I think about how we've not just been telling our dreams, we've been enacting them and singing and dancing them and drawing and painting them for such a long time. And the part of dream work that psychologists have had a part in is just this tiny speck in this long tradition. And yet, sometimes we therapists think that that's all there is. Not so. So the way of working with dreams that Betty and I resonate with is dream tending. And this is a way that was developed by Dr. Stephen Eisenstadt, and we are very grateful to be a part of his teaching and mentoring. So most psychological, especially Western psychological ways of working with dreams have been person-centered, and that means the dream is about the dreamer. It happens inside the dreamer. And lots of therapists have said to their clients or their workshop participants, every part of the dream is a part of the dreamer. And that's useful, but it's not the whole enchilada by any means. Yeah. Dream tending considers the dream images to be alive. And that dreams are not just happening inside the person, but that dreams are connected to the eco fields that we live in, to the animals and plants and rocks and the whole earth, and to the deeper wells of instinctual and ancestral wisdom. And so when we're tending a dream, we're not particularly interested in interpreting it or analyzing it or paying a lot of attention to the symbols, although that's a small part of it. We're really trying to listen deeply to the images, to their voices and their perspective, because they bring this knowing that we don't already know about. So in dream tending, we think of the psyche as being multidimensional. So while we might start out with the individual person, the dreamer, what's his or her current experience, what's going on in their life or their history or their family of origin, that's just a starting point. And we might also notice larger themes that we might call archetypes or archetypal, that there are things that cut across many cultures, like the idea of home or going on a journey or mother or father. But that's still you know, in the realm of human collective unconscious. And what happens with dream tending is that we're tapping into something larger. We could call it the world's unconscious, or maybe we could think about it as the earth's soul. As I said, in dream tending, dreams are alive. That's really the heart of dream tending, this aliveness, that the dream figures aren't static, that they're interacting with us now, and that what they bring is continuing to unfold, and it doesn't stop there. I think another important aspect of dream tending is that everything is dreaming all the time, not just us humans. That the animals, the plants, the earth are always dreaming, the weather beings, and that the dream isn't just inside of us. That when we dream, we're going into another dimension. We're in the dream time. And in that sense, dreams are happening now. That dreams are existing in our immediate experience. And dream tending brings us into the real time of the dream time. And so instead of asking, what does this mean? What is this symbol? We're asking, who's visiting now? And if there's an elephant in the dream, we're not seeing it as the elephant. It's a very particular elephant that's visiting. And we're interested in having a relationship with this particular elephant. So the living images are asking us to meet them and to have a relationship with them and to open up to what they're offering us. And oftentimes we need to do that with some humility and not assume that we know. And dreams are coming to us usually at some time, particular time in our life, that they might be able to help us. And not just coming to us as humans, but the healing's likely to be about more than just us, hopefully, since it's the earth's soul, not just the dreamers.
Good. Thank you, Jill. That gives us an orientation to our day, and I just want to underline what you said, because particularly in our mainstream culture, we're not accustomed to the notion that when we have a dream, it's an actual entity, an actual living being that we, and I'm sure Betty's going to talk more about that, but this notion that we're welcoming in, using your example, an elephant into the room is very important and offers the possibility of an ally. But I want to shift on over to Betty Henderson now. Betty is known in our Earth Tribe circles as Dream Teacher, and with good reason. And Betty and I have a long story together and a rich story, and I count you, Betty, as one of the rich resources for our world today in terms of exploring dreams, and we welcome you from the hill country of Texas.
Thank you. I'm from the hill country of Texas, a little west of where Will and Judith and others are. And where I am, spring is blooming, which is really welcome. As Will said, I'm known as Dream Teacher, and because in 1993 or 4, I went on a vision quest at Deer Dancer Ranch, and I received a vision name of Dream Teacher. Little did I know what that would mean. We say that our vision names are our name for the next leg of the journey. And Allison Jensen has done a lot of work on how these names play out in our lives. And at that time, I only knew that I had vivid dreams. I didn't know that I was going to be dream teacher. A lot of what I know or work with about dreams, as Jill said, I've learned from Steve Eisenstadt at Pacifica Graduate School, who's a wonderful mentor for dreamers everywhere. So in terms of how dreams and visions come together in my life, my daily meditation is part vision and part dream. It comes from a vision that I had when I received the name Fireheart in 1998. And it's a vision of the ancient ones sitting around the fire. And those ancient ones now include friends of mine that are sitting around that fire. And it's also partly a dream I had about lizards, giant lizards who guard the underworld and allow us to go into this place where we can encounter the ancient ones around the fire. So this meditation is part from a dream and part from a vision quest. And it really guides me every day as I do the dream meditation. Like visions, when we work dreams, we like to have our allies, our totems, our ancestors with us. A long time ago when Will was talking about, teaching us about journeying, he said, now you have to have your ally with you. And I thought he was saying your owl eyes. And for a long time, I thought we had to have our owl eyes with us, which is not a bad thing to have. And finally, I realized it was our allies. And when we tend dreams, it's good to have your allies, your totems, your visions with you. A lot of times I picture an ancestor clear eyes right here behind my shoulder when I'm tending a dream or when I'm working a dream. And other times it might be owl eyes with me, but it's good to have them with you. And I imagine the ally or the ancestor whispering in my ear something that maybe my conscious ego is not aware of at that time. And it gives me a lot of confidence to know that the ancestors are smiling when I'm working a dream. So that's another similarity of dreams and visions. In his book, Dreams, Bones, and the Future, Russell Lockhart says, every dream has to do not with the past, but with the future. Every dream is a portal to shamanic potential. Every dream is a portal to hidden caves of imaginal reality. Every dream is a potential gateway to rhizomic consciousness. Every dream has the potential to be a vision in our lives if we're really paying attention to the dream image. And Lockhart also says that dreams are angels. They're angels that come to us from an unknown geography, a courier from an unknown geography. They're a messenger who come to us with a message and they want a response from us. Just like a vision is calling us to the next leg of our journey, so a dream is also calling us to what we're going to do next, what we're going to do in our lives next. Dreams always come to tell us something that we're not aware of consciously. What would be the point of having a dream tell you something that you already knew? It's telling you something that you're not aware of, you're not paying attention to, something you need to look at differently. And it's asking for a response from you. It's calling for this response. It's like the pull of the future is what the dream is asking for. Through dreams, we have a way, a language that we can communicate with those in the dream world and also with other creatures in the waking world. Through dreams, we have a language that we can communicate with the animals, the rocks, the trees, rivers in dream world and in the waking world. And they may be calling for some response from us as they enter our dream consciousness. Marion Woodman called it that language metaphor. She had a dream where there was a machine just spewing out metaphors. We're allowing her to communicate with those that maybe don't understand English or Arabic or whatever language we're speaking. We can communicate through that messenger. And so when we have these dreams, the dream image is trying to communicate with us, and sometimes we kind of get in the way of listening to them. A few years ago, a friend who lived in California, where they were having an extreme drought, she had a dream about this dry grass. So she thought, the dream is telling me to do something about this drought. And maybe the dream wants me to redo my landscaping. Maybe it wants me to think about the ways that I can save water. Maybe the dream wants me to go join this group that's doing a lot of things with water conservation. And those are all good things to do. But that dry grass is telling her something she didn't already know about. So when we encounter these images in the dream world, we have to listen really carefully and be sure we're listening to dry grass. We're not listening to the things we read in the newspaper about taking care of water. And it's really hard to make sure that we're communicating with the dream image. And then the dream is asking us for a response. How are you going to do something differently in your waking life from what you've been doing before this dream came? The dream comes at a time, like a vision does, at a time when it's your turn to do something differently. With the dream, you always think, why today? Why did I have this dream today instead of last year or tomorrow? It's like your vision. It's telling you now's the time to listen to this dream or to listen to this vision. So we ask, what am I going to do differently in my waking life as a result of this dream or this vision? And like visions, it may take a long time for it to play out and to realize what we should be doing differently. But in the meantime, just so we don't get amnesia, dream may be asking for some ritual. It may be asking us to write a poem, paint a picture, model something with clay, gather sticks or stones from outside and put them on our night table or put them on our desk. So every day we see that poem, we see that drawing, reminds us of the dream and what the dream is asking us to do. So it's really important not to get amnesia about dreams. You know, sometimes you'll have an insight and you'll say, wow, that's really big, you know, and then a week later, you've totally forgotten it and totally forgotten to do something about it. So dreams are asking for a response. It's like getting a letter from an angel and it's there and saying, I'm here. What are you going to do? Jill is going to introduce an activity. We're going to be in a circle and look at some images from viewers who have volunteered to be with us today.
Yeah, and thank you, Betty. And Jill, I want you to come right in, but I just wanted to note how our circle, our dream circle, has grown, and want to welcome participants from Jerusalem and comments directing you to the chat box. And I trust that people are able to, sometimes are having trouble hearing, but I think are getting better at that. Okay, here we go, Jill.
I want to add something to what Betty said, though, before we go on. Oftentimes, when folks are working on dream tending, particularly with with Steve Eisenstadt. There's a homework of taking the dream into the actual landscape. So in addition to rituals and poetry writing and painting, taking your dream out into the trees and the grass and the rocks is a really good idea. And it gives you even more. So I'd like to ask everybody now, everyone in the circle, to imagine that you're outside. Maybe some of you are, hopefully, but imagine that you're outside, perhaps under a beautiful big tree, and you can feel the warmth of the sun and maybe a little breeze. And know that you're in a circle of sacred space, connecting all of us as one to these alive dream images. And so a few people have volunteered to be with us today and bring an image in, and we're going to be asking you to just give us an image, not to tell the whole dream. So it might be something something like this. Gray wolf under aspen tree looks up.
As we imagine ourselves in this circle, we see gray wolf in the aspen tree. And my image is of two giant cougars in the trees over the building. And I look up and I can see these two giant cougars. So the cougars join us in the circle with the gray wolf.
So Paula Perch, are you there? We welcome you into this circle and invite you to bring an image in today.
Thank you. Large woman leans and bends over a banquet table wearing a black lace dress.
And so we welcome large woman leaning over the banquet table wearing a black lace dress.
And we see in the circle now, gray wolf, the cougars, and the woman in the dress. All imagine them all together in that circle and begin to look at how they're interacting with each other. And now we call on Kim Green to put her image in the circle.
So my image is Muhammad Ali when he was a humanitarian after his boxing days in my living room at a Christmas party. He visited 2 nights ago.
What a beautiful circle. We've got the wolf under the tree, the cougars up in a tree, the woman in her lace dress, and Muhammad Ali in the living room. Just imagine them all together.
And Jillian Winters up in Idaho, we welcome you into the circle with your dream image.
Hello. My image is my mother handing me 2 green necklaces.
So we welcome Jillian's mother, handing Jillian 2 green necklaces.
Oh, this is beginning to look like a wonderful party here in the circle. And now, Mark, we welcome you into the circle with your image from your dream.
polar bears swimming along, and I jump in the water to join them.
Polar bears in the circle, mother in the green necklaces, and Muhammad Ali, the woman in the lace dress, cougars and the gray wolf. Begin to imagine all of these images interacting with each other, and you may begin to see an image that really resonates with you. It might be your image or some other image.
And notice that there's a tree, at least one. Oh, two trees and water.
Yeah.
All a part of this.
And a banquet table.
And Patricia, welcome to the circle.
My image is sparkling white and clear light pelting down like rainstorm during daylight, and I'm laughing.
And so we welcome this sparkling, clear, and white light pelting down like rain in the daytime. And you're, did you say laughing?
Laughing, yes.
Laughing. So we welcome laughter and clear white light pelting down like rain.
So if everyone can imagine this circle with these animated images living in the circle around us, and I see on the chat line there are other images coming in. There's a blackboard and teaching chemistry. There are alligators, there are crabs. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in our circle now. So if everyone can just imagine this circle and find one image that really gets your attention, watch that image and ask that image if it has a message or a gift from you today. So anyone who has a message or a gift from an image, if you're online, you can speak about it, or if you're on the chat, you might want to tell us what the gift or the message is from the image you're looking at today.
You can just speak.
Yeah.
Okay. So I am very drawn by the sparkling light, and I forget her name, the woman who's laughing in the sparkling light, as is Muhammad Ali, and he is joining her in that laughter. And soon others in the circle begin to gather with them together, and all joining in this joyous moment, which in itself is a gift these days, having a joyous moment.
Thank you, Kim.
I saw the polar bear with the bright light reflecting off it, wearing the green necklace. And he said to me to remember us, not to forget, meaning not just polar bears, but everything in the dream.
Thank you, Patricia. Not to forget polar bears.
The movement of the whiteness and the movement of both the white bright light and the polar bears, all that brilliance and all that movement suggests that movement can be very provocative.
Thank you, Paula.
I connected with the two cougars in the tree, and they told me to come and join them. Be patient.
I can imagine myself climbing that tree with the cougars and Mark, and being told to be patient as we wait in the treetop. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Yes, I'd just comment that we actually have had some cougars in our neighborhood this last week. And so sometimes these dream images take actual form in our world that we live in on a day-to-day basis.
There's a certain synchronicity of that, isn't there? I see on the chat line that there's some images that are speaking to people also. Jenny Epperson says the two cougars in the tree, head to tail, head to tail. The gift is order, symmetry, and continuity. Callie, is that how you say your name? Drawn to the polar bears. She's jumping in to swim. And she gets on the back of one of the polar bears.
A hawk landed on the tree with gray wolves, says Leanne in North Carolina.
Karen says Muhammad Ali was trying to keep up doing his work, but he did not get to finish in his life. So perhaps there's a call there. So as we look at these images in the circle, I want to thank each one of these images that has come in for allowing us to see them in the circle and for their gifts. We thank Gray Wolf under the tree. We thank cougars up in the tree. We thank the large woman in the lace dress at the banquet table. We thank Muhammad Ali at the party in Kim's living room. We thank Jillian's mother with two green necklaces, and the polar bears swimming in the icy water. We're really grateful for them coming in our circle, and now we allow them to go back into the dream world. Oh.
And we thank the clear white light.
Oh, yes.
The laughter.
Especially the laughter.
Just take a moment and see what it's like. We're really attempting something a little bit different here, are we not? We're having an online experience as well as information. And that means that we're wanting and knowing what it feels like in a felt sense to connect with these images. So I want to take just a moment and I'll go to each one of you who've been participating and want for you to give just a sentence of what it's like for you to experience coming into our circle, where you come from. So Paula, why don't you begin? Just tell us what this has been like for you and where do you live?
I live in California by Palm Springs, and it's been a lovely visit with you all. I'm absolutely amazed that using all this technology, we can get to the same place that we can get when we are together in the Dreamtime. It's been just a lovely visit, and the images are just marvelous.
Thank you, and really, it is a little dream-like, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Kim Green.
Yes, it's very dreamlike. And yes, I'm in Louisville, Kentucky. The sun has finally come out after 10 days of no sun. And being in the circle has felt almost magical to me today. I'm accustomed to working on the phone and over Skype with Dream, but to feel part of this really world community, people all over the globe, just really opens my heart in a new and different way. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. The light really shines in your eyes. And Jillian from Idaho.
Hey there.
So tell us what this has been like for you.
Well, I am so glad to be a part of this group and a part of this circle today. And thank you for receiving the image of my mother with the 2 green necklaces. She is interacting with all of your images right now, and she's very happy too.
You have a sense of her presence besides beyond the metaphor?
Yes, with the combination of the chat and seeing people's faces and seeing their eyes and them in the rooms really brings this work to life.
Great. And good. Great to have a little bit of Idaho here.
Yeah, there's some snow on the mountains. It's really beautiful.
So let's dive into the water at the North Pole with Mark.
Well, you know, anytime I talk about my dreams, they come back alive. I can very clearly see myself in the water with the polar bears. So even just getting ready to share, the dreams come very vividly back to me. I can see the dreams clearly, and so I'm just grateful for the opportunity to share because it was quite a dream.
Yeah, well, we welcome the bear medicine into our circle.
Yes.
Very powerful ally. And yeah, shifting over to Patricia Varney in New York.
Hi, it's cold and snowy, and it's been a long winter with not much light. So being with you, I've been coming to the webinars, but just listening. This is the first time I've been able to use the video, and it just tickles me inside. I feel like I'm with everybody, and there's a difference between watching and being seen and being with people. So I think that it's great. It's a different experience when we're all interacting.
Good, good. You know, the theory is, in online education, is that people drop off whenever there's not a talking head talking. And there's sort of a bias against doing what we're doing, but I'm noticing, so far as I can tell, our global circle is staying with us pretty doggone good. So that's great. So I want to switch back, Jill, to you and get some closing comments from you about what this has been like.
Well, first, I'm just resonating with what Mark said about when he was thinking about dreams that the dream that the bears came back alive. And it makes me think that they all are still alive, that it's just us that are not tapping into it. And when we think about it, then we're back in the dream time where they've always been alive. And Thank you, Mark. That was just a wonderful reminder. It's just been really beautiful to be with everyone and to be reminded of how powerful this is and how connected we all are in the Dreamtime.
And Betty.
The circle was just amazingly active with those images were just all seemed to be joyfully interacting with each other in a really beautiful way. And so it was great to see, you know, cougars and white light and polar bears and necklaces. It was really vivid. And it was especially nice to see the faces of people I haven't seen for a while, and to see the names of people on the chat line that I haven't heard from for a while. So it was great. Thank you.
Right. Yeah, and before we close the circle, I want to just acknowledge a few others, and from Matanda's grandpa and his favorite chair in the living room. That really touched me. Very large, tall, beige brick walls, and many alligators. Blackboard teaching of chemistry, and we're gonna next month we're gonna have with us physicist from Damanor, Italy, who will be bringing. His name is Nomo, and he'll be bringing us other kinds of dreams and visions that are coming through him and others like him. We may also have Nassim Harriman, or at least some clips from Nassim and his visions about how the universe works. So we're bringing all of these living influences in to help us be better people. So it's just been great to be with you today. I want to share a little bit with you synchronicity. Last night, I had a dream, and in the dream, I was at first in a large house where we were concerned about safety, and how could we arrange the walls and the doors and so on so that we had safety. And I woke up in the night thinking about Judas and my younger daughter, Holly, who's principal of a school in College Station. They have about 1,000 students, and she has on her staff and teachers 70. Brought it home to me because they had one of the students threatened with one of these shooting situations, and the police were involved, and it just brought home to me how vulnerable we are in this world, and how together in this dream circle we can create an architecture of safety for each other. And we can call on all these dream images to go out and assist us with creating a deep kind of safety at the heart of our lives, in our essence. And then the dream went on. And this was a dream last night. And in this dream, it was somewhat like we are now, only we were in person. And there were people from around the world, and we were singing a song, and one group would sing one part of the song antiphonally, and then another group would sing a part of the song antiphonally. And the song that we were singing is known to many of the people in the Earth Tribe as the Water Song. And so Judith and I are going to sing in just a moment the Water Song, and then those of you from various parts of the world who happen to know this indigenous song can join along with us. But Dan, I'm going to ask you to mute everybody but Judith and me, because if we start trying to sing, it is quite a cacophony. So
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work. So are we good to go, Dan? Okay, good. So why don't you sing it through once, Judith, and then I'll join.
Okay. Hey yo na na yo yo na 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 hey yo. Hey yo na na yo yo na na hey yo. Ah ya ya hey na yo hey wa. Ah ya ya hey na yo hey wa. Waka hey waka ho ha hey yo wanna hey na hey na yo.
I think I'll sing it and then we'll join on together.
Okay.
This is a song, some of you have read about it in my book. I was just thinking, Jill, that you were with me when I first started singing this song, maybe 25 or 30, well, maybe 30 years ago. And Berhard taught this song to me, and he said, be very careful when you sing it because this is a living entity that'll come into your circle. So we were singing it on a very clear day about 6:30 in the morning, and suddenly we were drenched with water, though there were no rain clouds, and we suddenly realized we were sitting in the middle of a park where it had an automatic sprinkler system. So Berhard used to love to tell that story about us. It's a very powerful song. Here's another version of it. Hey yo na na, yo hey yo na 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 hey yo. Hey yo na na, yo hey yo na na hey yo. Ah ya ya hey ne yo hey wa. Ah ya ya hey ne yo hey wa. Waka hey waka ho on hey you wanna hey ya na hey ne yo hey. Yo na na yo yo na na hey yo. Hey yo na na yo hey yo na na hey yo. Ah ya ya hey ne yo hey wa. Ah ya ya hey ne yo hey wa. Waka hey waka ho. Hey you wanna hey ya na. Yo. Good. And listen, I want to send a personal invitation for you to come to March 13th gathering, and Sheila will be sending out a way to link to that. But it's on a great book for the mother of the environmental movement. In fact, a woman who I consider to be one of the handful of great persons of the 20th century. I'm referring to Rachel Carson. So on March the 13th, we'll be delving deeply into her life. She's a great person who also wrote a great book, and inviting all of you. And thank you so much, Betty. Thank you, Jill. Thank you, Paula and Kim and Jillian and Mark and Patricia and all of you who've gathered with us in this dream circle. And may these allies go with you. The bears, the jaguars, the owls, the crabs, the alligators, the jaguars, the hawks, all of these great images, Muhammad Ali, may they be your allies. May the necklaces from Idaho go with you, and may we all join together today in the consciousness of making explicit what it's like to be better people. Thank you very much.
May they live in our dream council.